Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Valdez Venture. Alright everybody, so what I decided to do here was kind of just a voiceover because I didn't record the ending of this project, and the reason for that is once I got the engine running right, the power wasn't getting to the cabin. So what I ended up doing was extensive research into the electrical system. I mean, I dug deep into tearing the generator walls off, chasing wires, figuring out, making sure there was no resistance that was too high, and just making sure everything was right, because, you know, I don't know who's serviced it. I don't know what kind of work they've done to it before, you know, the owner started bringing it to me. So what ended up happening, and I didn't think to check this to begin with because they had already taken it to dealerships. So I ended up checking the actual wire orientation on the voltage regulator, and it ended up being wired wrong. The whole regulator was wired wrong. So I ended up wiring that correctly, and I got power to the cabin, and I ran it 4 hours one night, an hour and a half, almost 2 hours the next day when they came to pick it up, and it worked fine. Alright, tank is back in. Now we can hook up the fuel line and maybe pour what's left of here down there, and then see if I can get more fuel for it. Alright, so when they came to pick it up, it worked fine, and they got it home so they could figure out what was going on with the radio, because one of the outside speakers wasn't working, and they had just put them in. So they got it home, tried to start it. Well, it started, the generator runs fine, but there's no power to the cabin. And I'm like, well, let me do some more research. So I called the dealership, I called different places trying to figure out what is going on, and it ended up, according to the dealership that I called, it's more than likely still a voltage regulator problem, even though this is the second voltage regulator that they've been through. I asked him, I said, best guess, because they don't, the dealership that I'm getting the parts through, because they are a Generac certified dealer, they're not RV Generac certified dealer. They are portable or house. I don't know what you would call that. Just the units, you know, your backup power, you know, they deal with those. So I asked, you know, just out of experience of dealing with those, have you had bad voltage regulators? And he says, yeah, brand new out of the box, bad. He says, and not only that, I've had brand new out of the box, completely put together generators come to me bad. So it's definitely not, it's not something to rule out. So I ended up calling the owner. I'm like, this is what I found out. This is what we need to try. So at the current moment, they have the trailer. It is no longer in my yard. I did what they asked me to do at the current time. I got it running. It was running better. It was producing power while it was in my yard, while they were standing there. It ran. The AC was on. The fridge was on. Every light I could turn on was on. The radio was on. Everything that I could use to draw power to make that generator work was on. And everything worked fine. I turned it off, turned it on, everything was good again, turned it off. they loaded it up and took it home. By the time they got home, of course they live 30-45 minutes from me. By the time they got it home, it wasn't working again. And I asked the owner, I says, do me a favor, just take the top off while the engine's running. Look at the voltage regulator, see if there's a red light on, because on the voltage regulator there's a red light that indicates it's working. They said no. And the dealership said, chasing a voltage regulator, there's no real point in it, because a lot of the times the voltage regulator is on its own system. It powers itself off the battery and sends signal out of itself to different things. And so it's all really just inside the voltage regulator. So that's what I told the owner. I said, look, this is what they've said. This is what I'm at a point where I don't know what to do. And I was honest. And so they're going to try one more voltage regulator and just see what happens. I don't know if they're going to go with a more budget friendly voltage regulator, if they're going to maybe spend a little bit more on the next one. I don't know. I don't think they're going to call me to put it back in. I think maybe they're going to try and put it back in and just see what happens. I'm not really sure. We did talk about that, but that was about a week and a half ago. They've had it back for probably about 2.5 weeks now. So I'm not, at this point, I don't really know what's going to happen with it. I just know this is the current last video of this little short series that I've done on it. I do want to thank y'all for joining us on another Ride Adventure, and I hope y'all join us next time. Y'all have a blessed day.